What is going on, guys? Welcome to week number 13 of our Wednesday preview videos. We are kicking off this video with Odessa's recruiting board, and I gotta say, they had a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, we know kind of bits and pieces what they did after that Midland win. They got a lot of signees, and now they can get even more. They have more prospects visiting for this game here against Broken Arrow, and you're going to see a lot of red OSUs here.
Oh my god.
Down the list, and down it goes. Kadir Childs Harris has signed, Ian Hyven has signed, Ricky Scroggins has signed, and all that space frees them up to go after these guys right here.
Right. So they hit it really big with their high 70s, mid 70 players, and now they're going after the depth. So really, if you think about it, this is like the epitome of a great class.
Yeah, it really
Did a
is.
good job.
Let's talk up here at the top. I don't think we've ever mentioned this, but there's kind of these rumors going around that head coach Stan Leach has hired Paris Austin's dad to be their wide receivers coach heading into next season. So it's not official yet, but I mean, they might let their receivers coach go, the one they have on staff this year, and hire Paris's dad. And I wonder if there's any NCAA bylaws against that kind of thing.
Some sort of flexible nepotism going on?
Some collusion. I don't know the precise rules on that. I figured it's just built into the recruiting pitch. But, I mean, there is an exchange of monetary benefit to the Austin family by his decision to sign here. Top JUCO receiver. And it's a huge get for Odessa State. We know that if you guys have followed their situation, I believe the top 4 or even 5 receivers, guys like Skinner and Sisk, are all seniors and they're all going to leave. Rivera, McCollum, I believe, are all gone. So Paris is going to step in right away and be the #1 receiver next year. And they got some more of these guys here. But yeah, that aside, they can really cap off this class in a big way if they can get these guys to sign after this visit coming this week.
Justin Davis is probably the big one. I just don't see why he would want to go to Odessa and just kind of sit behind Dowdell.
Yeah, you know, he might be a better fit for their offense than Dowdell is, but you see Little Rock and Amarillo have visits coming up, and they are well within striking distance here. So Justin Davis still very much in limbo.
Looking at Midland State's needs versus the recruiting board first, you guys will notice the big number, the 12. The 12 guys that they're targeting for corners. They're losing 3 seniors, and the other 2 guys that they have on staff, so to speak, are a freshman and a sophomore.
Yeah, they're losing their top 3 cornerbacks. They're losing Seidenstricker at safety as well. So the secondary is going to be in shambles. And I think even with the guys that are on the board right now, even plugging them in, they're still going to be in some serious trouble on that front. Let's see here, we have prospect visits even more so than Odessa State's. And they have a huge game this week against Denver Tech, so they really need to come up big in that game. Let's sort by overall here and look what's on the board. D'Anthony Okobo is leading towards the Sun Belt. This is distressing.
Yeah, what are you doing, D'Anthony?
No, he's
Big
got
12 is where it's at.
one of the guys with the visits here. I believe he's locked McAllen out at 4,000. They still have a visit. I don't really think that means very much. They did get Troy Simon, a JUCO. That's going to be big. He's going to be getting a lot of minutes right away. A lot of time on the field. Antonio Hall, 4-star recruit. This one is big. We really need to try to do everything we can to secure him as a 77 true freshman, so we're going to break that lock. I'm going to throw some more points on him in a minute, but Carl Everett, safety, and Frazier at receiver. I'm looking for Talley at safety as well, another JUCO. So they don't care if you're JUCO or freshman. They need some talent in the defensive backfield pronto. They're not playing ahead very well.
It's almost right. It's almost so like they're looking at this from a desperation point of view. They're just getting these JUCOs signed and brought in just to have a body at this point. Because, I mean, let's face it, this was not the season that they envisioned, and they were really going all in on this year. And now that it's kind of hitting home that it's over, they're starting to plan that, hey.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, they're fine, I think, at just about every position other than defensive backfield, which is a gaping hole for them. Now, Nick Mays is a guy I'm interested in. Midland barely in the lead over ACU. I think he's a better fit for Midland State because ACU is signing all of these running backs. And they barely run the ball anyway. But they do have a lot of running backs in this recruiting class, high level, that they're still going after. So if I'm Nick Mays, I mean, I'm going to McAllen or Midland State. No doubt about that. Josh Weeks signed with Texas. You get some more kind of mid-level, 3-star freshmen, cornerbacks Greer and Kelly. And then we'll see down here, Colton Yo. Ooh, Denver has taken the lead. Interesting. He has a visit with Midland. So I think Midland will jump back in the lead for custom recruit Colton Yo. Lost Thomas Romero. More cornerbacks. And that does it for Midland State.
All things considered, Shreveport has done a pretty decent job with their recruiting this season, and it's sorted by overall. Jordy Davis is their #1 prospect on the board, up 430 points to Ole Miss. Ole Miss just seemed to have a visit maybe last week or a few weeks ago. And after he visited Shreveport last week in the Ardmore loss, he's still got a nice bump, and that's why he's in first place for Shreveport.
Yeah.
Josh Cook, the athletes, 78. You had something to say about Davis?
Well, yeah, let's look at Cook's attributes. So it's good to see as an athlete that he is not a quarterback. So he's definitely can play in the defensive backfield. So Shreveport is building up their DBs. And, I mean, you're really thinking that I bet Midland State wants to trade for some of these players, if they can do that.
Yes.
I mean, look at these guys. Paris Mack was a big one that they recently got. Gerald Henderson, they are in a battle with Penn State and Ardmore for his services. I say just drop off a bag of money and get the sign. But you know how these things go.
If there was a live camera on my face, guys, I'd be like, what?
It's a joke.
What did you just say?
Jason Morris, another guy that can play DB. So Shreveport's secondary is going to be lethal. Maybe the next ACU.
I think
What do you
that's
think about
probably what they're planning on doing. They've got some things working in their favor offensively with a lot of young players that they're starting to develop. And if they want, in order for a team like Shreveport to be where they want to be, they have to focus on their defense. They got to be able to stop people in this Big 12. Because as we've seen, this Big 12 is not the prototypical Big 12 that everybody wants to paint them as in real life Big 12 terms. So it's just a good conference, a good football conference with these team builder teams. So there's some legitimate offenses, but there's some pretty bad offenses too.
There's some great defenses.
And there's some great defenses. So Shreveport building that defense. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, Joseph Larrier is another one here. We see his numbers. Again, you see zone coverage, press, man coverage. The guy is a safety or cornerback. 91 speed. Ryan Bradshaw's interesting because he's a 6'5", 222, and we've talked about him being a prototypical Shreveport-type receiver. Custom recruit as well. We see Amarillo has their visit yet to go, and they're only down 635, so maybe he becomes an armadillo. We shall see about that. Tywon Davis, a big-time linebacker. I think he's got some potential. Shreveport in the lead there as well. Eric Washington, they're a little farther behind. Really a battle between ACU, Nebraska State, and Denver. And that's going to do it there. Signing some running backs that they don't really need at this point, but, I mean, a 4-star back. And, yeah, we got some points to spend as well. I'm just going to throw some on some of these bad boys. Bada boom. Bada bing.
How about adding some up top?
Who do you think? Bradshaw? Tally?
I would say Bradshaw, honestly.
Yeah, let's just go the full Monty. Is that a phrase?
Probably Tywon Davis, middle linebacker.
Bam.
Eric Washington, probably
Bam.
not.
Bam.
I think Eric Washington's probably over with.
Hopkins. Even though it pains me, I'll do it. Boom.
Time for our NFL update there, ladies and gents. The Miami Dolphins 6-3 taking on the 3-5 New England Patriots in Foxborough.
Yeah, this is a big game. Might be seeing a changing of the guard here in the AFC East with the Big 12 All-Star team.
That is the Miami Dolphins currently. Russell Springer, the backup to Tom Brady. You saw him giving a nice little high five there. So he's learning. He's learning behind the GOAT.
Yeah, good mentor to have. We're going to see Judd Carmichael here trying to beat Tom Brady at his own game. Going outside Jakeem Grant. First throw. Actually, second throw. Second completion of the game for Judd Carmichael. Looking good here. Going to Beckham. Find some room.
Nice stiff arm right there. Taking on 3 tacklers. Judd Carmichael now 4 of 5 for 62 yards. Beckham with his first catch on the game. And here's Andre Wingo doing what he does best. He turned a negative play into something positive. It's going to be 3rd and 7 now. And as a pass is complete to Kenny Stills for the first down, this drive continues on. And here's Wingo finding the holes. And then he's crap talking Stephon Gilmore right there. He's like, yeah, that's right. That's what's up. Touchdown, Andre Wingo. And you guys will notice he is actually getting the start in this game here. And here on the next possession, look at the jukes and the hammer right there by Wingo. He's going to get into the corner of the end zone right at the pylon. Wow. And he gets in. So, again, Andre Wingo with the power.
That was pretty amazing. That's what we saw him do in college, though, so it's good to see that skill set translating. Paris McMillan, the McAllen connection. Big gain up the middle, so it's 14-7. You know, we don't really care about defense.
No, there's
we don't have our guys. We don't have our guys right now.
Nobody on there. So Beckham makes a nice catch. Going to go for 8. Carmichael now 11 of 14. And here is Kenyon Drake going to get his touchdown. We got 3 rushing touchdowns so far in this football game.
I said you should have given that to Wingo. But here's Wingo with a nice juke, and he's going to go. Can he go to the house? He's got one man to beat.
He's got to beat Stephon Gilmore, and you know what? Gilmore misses the tackle, and it's going to be a touchdown, guys. Andre Wingo absolutely killing it right now. It's a 95-yard score.
That is pretty amazing.
That's why they drafted him.
Yeah, 95 yards for the rookie. So if you had him in fantasy, you're pretty happy right now.
Yes.
You just won your matchup. Look at that move.
I mean, geez, man, who thought that he actually had some juke moves like this? This is something that he didn't really show a whole lot of at Shreveport. He was more of a pounder.
So I took over here. I'm trying to get the first down. I got stuffed. I'm actually in control. First time I played Madden in forever. Kenny Stills gets the catch. So we're doing okay.
28-10 here as the third quarter is starting to wind down. Carmichael throwing out to the right, going to find Beckham, but he's not going to use his momentum properly, and he gets pushed back.
There's Billy Belichick Jr. calling Madden cheese. But
where's the Madden cheese?
Billy Belichick doesn't win.
No.
He will not win. That's not Bill Belichick. We're calling him Billy Belichick.
Yeah, it's his kid.
Yeah. Billy Belichick Jr.
For those of you guys that are going to post comments in the comment section, I am aware that is not his name in the game. Okay? And he's been that way since Madden, 2008?
I don't know. But Tom Brady took one last look at what was left of his career. See some good numbers here by Carmichael. Wingo ended the game with 184 and 3 touchdowns.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So we'll have to see how he's going to keep performing hopefully he keeps performing at this pace for the rest of his NFL season in the rookie season.
All right, let's check out the top 25 here.
Dang.
Florida State, North Carolina still hanging on there, undefeated. I want to take a look at this.
4 teams that are undefeated right now.
It's pretty hard to do. You just think about it, we removed teams like Texas State and Kent State and inserted a brand new BCS conference. That's why you see some of these teams like Clemson at 5-6. Because they schedule these great teams on the out of conference and they rack up losses. And it's just the way it goes. You see the teams like Oklahoma are like falling off the map. Stuff like that.
This strength of schedule for North Carolina is kind of weak.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, Virginia Tech's their best win on the road. Kansas State, they beat in overtime. I'm looking at Shreveport, Syracuse, and Duke. Losing records, Duke at 500. North Carolina can actually do it. Get to the ACC title game undefeated.
Yeah, but are you going to have to play Florida State?
Yeah.
In the ACC title game?
Yes.
So whoever loses that game's out of the national championship picture.
It could very well end up that way.
Which is dumb because that game shouldn't count against you.
Well, they can't send both of them again. They're in a rematch.
I guess.
Denver Tech and ACU are still in the mix right now. I mean, Stanford and Ohio State and that ACC loser, I mean, you're going to have 3 conference championship games. So actually, I mean, if ACU and Denver can get to the Big 12 title game with 1 loss, beat one, a top 5 caliber opponent, there might be enough room to move up into the 2 slot, get into the BCS national title. See Ardmore here at 13, Broken Arrow at 14, even though they beat you and you have identical records.
It's a travesty. That needs to be flipped.
I
Even
agree.
I could admit that it needs to be flipped.
Camu at 15. See some more teams here. Midland at 19 at 7-3. Shreveport is number 20 in the country, so still having a great year by their standards. Gotta love it.
Yeah, a lot of people counted them out, including myself.
McAllen sitting at 7-3, so you got a lot of teams at 7-3. Look at receiving votes. Nebraska State.
I've never seen this list so slim.
Yeah, we're ahead of Alabama though.
Sweet. Good. Heisman Watch time, guys. A.J. Turner from South Carolina leading the way. 3 touchdowns last week in a 43-37 win. 68 yards, though. But he had 4 receptions for 74, so I guess that's pretty decent. But a halfback is winning that over,
That's interesting.
over these 2 quarterbacks? I mean, I'm really only looking at it from 2 quarterbacks' perspectives.
1,100 yards right now and 13 touchdowns to go with 4 receiving and 400 yards. So he's actually, I mean, he's having a very good year. But, I mean, I would love to see one of our quarterbacks win it. The problem is, are we going to beat up on each other too much and not really be, have an elite ranking? Would that hurt us? I don't know. I mean, Makovich has the downside of 2 missed games. And you see what he did last week against Amarillo, 344 and 5 touchdowns. So, Brian Street is by no means... Yeah, he doesn't have this thing on lockdown. I will say that. But he did have a bye week, and that would explain his drop. And Harkless Blair went up, even though he lost to ACU.
I feel like this game really values quarterbacks that run the football. He had 131 yards and 2 scores and only 193 yards passing, so
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious that they don't value the arm as much as they do the legs, which is kind of a travesty because, I mean, you're awarding it to a really, like if you're awarding it to a quarterback, their primary thing that they're supposed to do is supposed to throw.
Oh, man. Are
Oh
you
my
kidding
God,
me?
no way. Nope, I disagree with this.
You guys saw Brandon Peters
It's garbage.
against Denver Tech.
Garbage day.
And they hung 63 points on Indiana. He might even transfer to Indiana. Would not surprise me because he's never going to start from Michigan ever again. Ben Shanowski, you are Player of the Week. I believe that's for the first time ever. For Player of the Week for the Big 12. Congratulations.
He had himself a heck of a week, man, and all the haters have got to be shooting themselves in the foot right now.
Yeah. Screams from the
I can't believe
haters.
I
Got
did.
a nice ring to it.
Is that Kanye?
Yes.
I don't
Bryce
know how to
Greer.
do that.
Price Greer at defensive end, filling in for the injured Matthew Kennedy. Picked up 2 sacks against McAllen. He is stepping up in a big way.
Matthew Kennedy out for 7 weeks, as you just mentioned. Price Greer has been stepping up and doing a lot of good things.
Might not be back for their bowl game. So that's a long time still, 7 weeks. Amarillo's got some injuries on the offensive line. Just more problems for the Armadillos. Hicks should be back for the bowl game.
Yes, but news, Hicks will be back. However, he will not be playing in the bowl game. Stanfield will be playing in the bowl game.
You sure about that?
Yes, because I want to see how Stanfield's going to play against that top competition, whoever we do play against, and I want him to be prepared for that type of competition and that type of stage when he does become the starter after Hicks is
Unless
gone.
you go to like the New Mexico Bowl.
Unless we go to the New Mexico Bowl, yeah, but we probably won't.
Trevor Erickson, he's been injured forever. He's on track to come back for their big game against Midland State. We'll see McAllen. They fired their trainer over the strained back epidemic that's been going on for the McAllen football team. They're on the mend. They're on the way back. And Odessa State might get their lineman back finally, and Shreveport has a clean bill of health.
Conference standing time, guys, and a lot of movement a lot of things, a lot of variable things that could possibly happen here to affect the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, let's just run through the scenarios right now because, I mean, I don't want it to get too convoluted, but ACU in the driver's seat, they have remaining games against Shreveport and McAllen. Technically, Shreveport and McAllen are still alive. They can still do it. Ardmore, still alive. Broken Arrow would benefit the most from an ACU loss, but they have to win out in order to really make that count. And so
Broken Arrow controls their own destiny to a point.
Yeah,
they have to keep winning, and they need somebody to beat ACU. Broken Arrow actually beat ACU during the season, so if ACU loses at any point, and they have a tied conference record at the end of it,
Broken Arrow would go.
Yes, Broken Arrow would go.
And yeah, I mean, Ardmore technically alive, but you need ACU to lose to Shreveport, and there's a lot of fuzzy math involved.
I need ACU to lose twice.
Probably not going to happen.
Correct, because I need Shreveport. And it's probably not going to happen. So our dreams of a Big 12 championship appearance are pretty much dashed, but it all hinges on this Saturday. Can Shreveport do it?
I would really put it at about 50-50 right now. I think it's a coin flip. Because, I mean, ACU playing against U, I think, is a tough game for them. It's at least going to be a real challenge and push them to the brink. I think they'll handle Shreveport. Broken Arrow has yet to play Odessa State and Little Rock. So I don't know who's going to win those games, but Broken Arrow's got to be pretty happy right now. And in the West, Denver has a 2-game lead on Midland, Camu, and Nebraska State. I highly doubt anybody can catch Denver Tech, but really it all hinges on this game between Midland and Denver. Midland has to beat Denver Tech. Then I have to beat Denver Tech, and that's the only way we can prevent Denver Tech from getting there. And then Nebraska State would actually have a chance if we beat Amarillo, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Camu, even if they went out.
It really looks like it's going to be Denver Tech to represent the West, just because if there was a team with 2 losses, then I might think that there's a higher likelihood that it won't be Denver Tech.
Yes.
But given the situation that we're in and the way it's looking like Denver Tech's going to be a 3-time Big 12 West champion. Let's take a look at the next week's action. Kansas A&M at Little Rock, Shreveport at ACU, Denver Tech at Midland State, Broken Arrow at Odessa, McAllen at Ardmore, Nebraska State at Amarillo. So let's take a quick peek at Camu and Little Rock. And honestly, this might be a closer game than a lot of people think. I know that the Little Rock Battlehawks defense, the secondary, is very questionable. And Jace Freeman and this Camu offense have really been lighting it up lately with the 22nd points per game ranking and the number 15 total offense.
Yeah, I see a lot of visiting prospects for Little Rock. They need to be looking ahead. The post-Gunnar Rivers era, they need athletes at receivers. You see guys like Hall there. And guys like Davis, who is a #1 pocket passer. So they really want him to be the successor to Gunnar Rivers. I actually think Little Rock will get the win here at home.
Wow.
I think people would be counting them out. They need this win to get bowl eligible. They need to win one of their next 2, either against Camu or Uba. I'm going to say Little Rock win.
So you're saying that Camu, who's on an extremely, extremely long hot streak,
3 games in a row.
but they are on a hot streak.
Well, I mean, they lost 3 games in a row to start, so.
So you're not a believer in that hot streak.
I love Camu. I think they're a very good team. I just think they're going on the road, and I think Little Rock's desperate. So.
Okay. Well, I'm taking Camu, and I think that the offense will shine yet again in this matchup. Shreveport and ACU. I need you, Shreveport. Come on, baby. I think it's going to come back to bite me in the butt for doubting them early in the season. They're gonna lose to ACU. I just don't think they have enough athletes at Shreveport right now. They did in years past in order to hang in there with Wingo and some other players, but they just don't have enough right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the offense is too conservative. They're going to play right into the teeth of ACU's defense. They give up a lot of yards to the air because usually they're winning, and teams are forced to throw. They have an elite secondary that forces turnovers. ACU, for as much grief as we were giving them, their offensive numbers have been inching upward. You see they're now up to the #1 passing offense in the country, 20th in points per game. I think they will handle Shreveport at home.
Perhaps one of the biggest games this week, Denver Tech against Midland, and Denver Tech is on the road. Now, keep in mind, Denver Tech has kind of been skating by just a little bit. Yeah, that 9-1 looks very scary, but I mean, look at the scores here. They lost to Camp. Well, damn.
10, 3, 1 point loss, 3 point win, and 7 point win.
Yeah, it's single digits, guys. So the team that we saw early on in out of conference.
It's a long time ago.
Yes, and against Uba and Little Rock, ever since week 2, 4, 6. Ever since week 6, it's been kind of a weird role that they've been on.
Yeah, they haven't scored more than 40. They haven't given up fewer than 20.
Yeah, so they're susceptible for a loss here, and Midland State. But that gets into question. Does Midland State believe that they have a chance? Because when you look at it, yes, they do. They have to beat Denver Tech in this game. They have to.
For whatever slim chance they have.
For whatever slim chance they have. So the question is in the locker room, do they believe enough? Because as we go into this week 13, there's 2 more games?
Yep.
After this, a lot has to go their way, but I guess as a football player and as an athlete, you got to have your coaches telling you 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. Anything can happen. And honestly, I'm still going to go with Denver Tech, though, in this matchup. The total offense is too good. The defense is too good. I understand that Dexter Whiteside is number 1 in passing yards in the NCAA, but yeah, I'm going to go with Denver Tech.
I agree. I think Denver Tech's too balanced, and I think Midland will. I feel like they don't have that much to play for. I think they realize they need a miracle to get this thing done. I think the loss last week to Nebraska State is really going to hurt their mentality entering this game.
That's the other reason right there. How do you come back from that? 3 years in a row. Broken Arrow and Odessa State. The fireworks are going to be flying.
Oh, yeah. I'm predicting a shootout here. Danny Booker will get the start, even though Pat Dowdell 2 weeks ago played pretty well against Denver Tech and got the loss. This will be senior day, so they're going to go to Booker. Maybe he's played himself into the conversation for getting an AAF contract.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think he's NFL material at all. He's getting benched by a true freshman, so no to that question. But, yeah, I mean, he's put some numbers up. I think he can beat Uba, but Bryan Street's just playing too good. Bryan Street, when he plays subpar secondaries,
he lights them up.
He destroys them.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is that Odessa State, their turnover differential is not very good. It's number 57, so, I mean, it's decent. It's okay. So they're not going to really turn the ball over against this high-flying offense against Uba, but guess what? Number 5 with a +8 turnover differential for the Wranglers. If that defense can get some interceptions, get some timely turnovers from Odessa's offense, and give more opportunities, more chances for the number 10 ranked offense in the league, it's Uba all day.
Uba's actually playing better on defense, too. See, they're up to number 3.
Another good game on tap. McAllen against Ardmore, and the two teams that are at play here, they know what's at stake. We know what's at stake. If we win this game, there's a slim chance that we could possibly get that Big 12 East. Not likely, but we know.
Well, you'll know, right? Because Shreveport plays the 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, so we'll know that we'll know what's at stake.
Basically.
Teams with high-flying offenses, guys. Number 8 points per game for McAllen, number 31 for Ardmore. We're only really trailing by a touchdown in that points per game. I know it's 5, but
it's kind of a lot.
Yeah. Per game, on a per-game basis, yeah. Rush defense, number 5 for us, number 26 in total defense. So we are much better of a defensive team than McAllen. And, the narrative with McAllen is they always find a way to screw up something. So at
they have
home,
it against you, though.
Correct. We have lost to McAllen 2 years running, and now that we're at home in a different environment, Stanfield at quarterback, I think we can come back. I think we can win this game. I'm picking Ardmore, and I don't really have another reason other than it's going to be a close game.
I think you're going to buck the trend too. I'm seeing McAllen is getting outgained by 8 yards per game. I think that's the difference. I believe probably one of 3 teams in the conference that have a negative yards per game differential. I'll take Ardmore.
Okay, cool.
Despite the record, I I think Amarillo is going to be plucky in this one. I know that they have their backs up against the wall for a bowl game. Got to win their last 2. I'm looking, though, 18th ranked total offense in the country. They got guys like this Moss guy, who is 6'7".
Yeah.
Super fast.
Insane.
They really want him to be an armadillo really badly. And we're going on the road. I think it's going to be a tough assignment. Coming off that huge win against Midland, I think we're actually going to be prepared. But Amarillo gives us a really good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one. But I think that defense for Nebraska State, the number 1 against the rush, number 20 in total, 11 in pass, that's a really good thing for this team. That's a really good thing to hang your hat on. I know that it's going to be defense versus offense in this matchup. Nebraska State's D against Amarillo's O. And knowing that D.D. Dukes is kind of that running type of style quarterback, in sim, he's that way. I know you struggle against the pass a lot of times with pass-happy offenses like ACU and Broken Arrow type of deal. But I just don't think Amarillo has enough weapons. I don't think they have enough ammunition against you in sim. So I'm going to go with Nebraska State to win this game. So that wraps it up for week number 13, guys. We will see you next Saturday for week 13 action. Make your picks on goldglovergaming.com and the Google Forms. Link is in the description if you need to, if you want to play just for fun. But most of the guys up top, I think there's about 15 guys that have been consistently playing that are pretty much in striking distance for first, second, and third. So leave a like if you like this thing, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that red button for subscribe or my logo in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll see you guys then. As always, peace.